Hey guys, Kira here. I'm recording this after the video ended, so you're gonna see me do the intro again. But yeah, what I want to say is 60% of y'all aren't subscribed. Now I know it's like the generic YouTube thing, but yeah, I'd appreciate a lot if you guys subscribe. If you like, if you watch the videos, you like them, why not subscribe? It helps a lot with the channel. We're almost at 100 subscribers, and I do plan on, I don't know what I'm gonna do for 100 subscribers, but I'll probably try to do some kind of video. But yeah, that's basically it. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Kira here, and this time, as you can see by the title, this is another review. I say another, but I haven't done one of these in like a week or more. The reason I haven't done one of these in a week or more, as you can guess, is because I haven't finished anything in like a week or more. That's mainly because, one, it's I've been reading Joe, which is I think like 176 chapters, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna drop it. Not my favorite series, but yeah, actually it's been 2 weeks almost. But yeah, basically pretty simple. 30 Days of Happiness, or My Soul, My Life for 10,000 yen a year, whatever you want to call it. I've seen so many names for it, and I don't even know which one's the right one. I'm gonna say 30 Days of Happiness. Why? Because it's a lot shorter, and to be honest, it sounds a lot better to me. But yeah, pretty simple. Y'all know how these go. I'm gonna talk about the story, the cast, everything about the series. Mainly the story and the cast, and then there's something else I wanted to mention. I'll mention at the end. But yeah, let's get straight into the first one, which is the story. So, as I mentioned, the story for 3 Days of Happiness is a pretty good one, I'm not gonna lie. I know recently I've been saying, oh, my favorite part is the story, my favorite part is the story. That's not because I'm starting to enjoy the story more. It's because, like, for example, 3 Days of Happiness, yes, the characters aren't bad, it's a good cast, but it's not like they're overly abundant with great characters, whereas the story, it's a unique, I guess not the most unique one, because, like, for example, you can draw similarities to Bunny Girl Senpai and all that, but because the whole girl disappearing and all that, there's more, but it'd be spoilers if I keep drawing comparisons. But yeah, I guess can't say it's the most unique one, but it's in the way that they do it, the ending, everything about the series, especially the ending I really liked. I think when it comes to story, it's my favorite short story. I mean, it's not that short, right? It's 16 chapters, but yeah, below 50 chapter story is my favorite. It's probably my favorite below 50 chapter series, period. I'm gonna get into that later though. Yeah, the story, great, I mentioned. It takes a unique turn, and it takes its time, with like developing and talking about the characters and the town and everything about the series. And especially, like, it's not like the character, it's not like we jump straight into him selling his life or anything like that, right? We slowly get to see him appreciate life more in his last 3 months. 2, but you know what I mean. In his last 3 months, and then everything about that, and it's a great little story about like the value of life that not a lot of series with like 4 times the length can even like get close to doing, and that's just because of how well the author like he touches on the the value of life and everything about it. And it's a very well-paced series for only 16 chapters, because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, a lot of this 16 chapters, around that length or even shorter series, sometimes can feel rushed, but the series accomplishes a lot, and again, it's only 16 chapters, or 16.5, technically 18 if you count like the 0.5 chapters. But yeah, the series accomplishes great. Pacing is amazing. I finished it all in one sitting, technically 2, but it was on like the same 3-hour span. Or 2 hours span. I forgot how long it took me to read. The chapters, they're also relatively like acceptable length. They're like 30 pages, I think. I'm not sure, which is like in between a monthly series and a weekly. Yeah, the story, I already mentioned it. Great. I'd give it like an 8 to 9, probably a 9 for now. I've only read it like I think a few days or like 3 days ago, so I don't want to. I need to let it sit on me a bit more before I give it a 9. But yeah, as for story, I'll give it a 9. Now, as for the cast, I'll be honest. It's a good cast. It's just that it's not like a great cast, so that's why I'm not gonna give it like a 9 or maybe even an 8. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna give it yet. I'm gonna talk first. The cast, the really only interesting characters like the protagonist and then the female protagonist, or whatever you want to call her. Miyagi, she's really a great person, a great character. We learn more about her and her story. It's very interesting. You could say, arguably, that her character is more interesting than the protagonist, who I'm not gonna lie, I forgot his name. Because, pretty short series. Not saying it's a forgettable series, it's just that the characters are pretty forgettable at times, especially if they have like a complicated name, which some Japanese names, to me, are. But yeah, Miyagi, great. You could say she's better than the protagonist. I'd arguably disagree. I can see your point though. She's a bit more, I guess, like likable. Whereas the protagonist, well, I guess he deals more with like the concept or the theme of like the value of life and how important life is, and like you can see him sell and do. I almost spoiled the series. You can see him doing certain things near the end that he definitely wouldn't do in the beginning. Ever since he got, I think it was ever since he got the haircut, was he just started to change, which sounds bad, like weird from the, like if you haven't read the series, but I guess it's a significant thing. He definitely starts to change. He sees a lot of progression. Oh, also, I'm gonna spoil something really quickly, so skip to like 10 seconds from now or something. But yeah, the way they say that like how much life can change, right? Because he was like what 30 yen, and then after that he's like 30,000 or something yen. I don't know. And that was like in only a 3-month span, so that was great. Also, he and his their whole relationship was great. The way they grow to love each other and everything like that, very cute, very wholesome, whatever. I don't have much to say for the cast, because like for other series, you know, I talk about like the main protagonist, the antagonist, the side characters, whatever. But really, when I look at the series, they only got like what, one protagonist. I mean, of course it has one protagonist. Any series only has one protagonist for the most part. But the one like, you know, notable side character, and has 0 antagonists. So for as small of a cast it is, it's pretty decent, but it's also not too strong. Of course, you can't build a super strong and you know, impactful character in only 16 chapters. That's like what the Odin backstory in One Piece, probably a bit less, bit more. I don't know. So and it's a bit different. It's a different context as well, because you know, One Piece you can still see some of the current characters. But yeah, anyways, getting off topic. Great cast. I'd probably give the cast a 7.5. I don't want to give it an 8 because it's basically only 2 characters. Like, yes, other characters exist, but it's not like other characters exist to the point where you'll recognize their name or you'll remember them. Like, I only remember one character's name in the whole series, and that's Miyagi, the main girl. So, yeah. Other things I want to talk about, the art. I like the art style. The main panel that I really liked was, I'll probably show it on screen around now, but it's the one where they're sitting under the stars. That was great. And especially in the last few chapters, a lot of like emotional scenes that I really loved. You can definitely like feel it. It has a few scenes at the end that personally like actually hit. Like, I actually like felt emotion, which for a lot of like, you know, sad moments in like kind of mediocre series, or a bit better than mediocre, you really just don't feel for them. But in this series, you definitely feel for those characters. I guess that's just the main thing you could say. Like, if you want a nice series, short, and you can read it all in one sitting, I definitely say 3 Days of Happiness. Probably one of the shorter mangas I've read. But even then, like, when it comes to series under 100 chapters, it's probably my favorite. Or, actually not, because Chainsaw Man is like 96 chapters or something. So, when it comes to series below 90 chapters, and yeah, it's easily my favorite. I don't think a series comes close up to now. I do plan on reading more short series to like get back into manga, because Joe burnt me out, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's basically it for the art. Great panels, like the emotions felt in them is great. I can't really talk about the covers because there's only like 1 volume cover, but yeah. The art style, it's a pretty generic art style, but I still like it a lot. As for the art, I probably give it a 7, not because it's like not the best, it's just that it only has 1 or 2 memorable panels that I really, really liked, not including the volume cover, so I can't really give it above a 7, because yes, I'm not gonna say an 8 needs a million, you know, memorable covers or panels, but like for example, I'd give Orient art like an 8 or a 9, and that has like a huge amount of memorable volume covers, a lot of manga panels that come to mind when I think about the series, and just a lot better art than the series. So as for that reason, I'll give it a 7. Then again, you know, Orient is like what, 8 times the length of Days of Happiness, so of course it's gonna have more memorable moments. But you know what I mean, right? In perspective. Yeah, it's basically it if I want to talk about the series. You know, great emotional series. If you just want like an emotional slice of life that is pretty similar to something you've read before, but also pretty different, I definitely recommend 3 Days of Happiness. I haven't done one of these in a while, but out of 100, a recommendation score I'd give would be like probably an 80. I'd also give the series like what, an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. It's a great series, especially for its length, which is honestly surprising to me. But yeah, it's basically it for the video. I do plan on reading Downfall by Inio Asano, mainly because a cool guy, Laugh Now, Die Later. I'll link his channel in the description if I remember. I'd be forgetting that a lot, but still. He made a video, pretty interesting, and it's only 7 chapters, so I'll probably check it out. And I've heard a lot of good things about it too, so I'll read it. It's probably going to be the next review, maybe the next video, I don't know. But yeah, that's basically for the video. Let me know what you thought down below. Remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and peace!